I came home to say goodbye to Pop. My house is in a 2060s New York across the street from Riverside Park. This worked out really well for Gus and sometimes for Rusty. Gus is half golden retriever, half German shepherd. He's a huge dog, made bigger by all the fluff. He has tags on his collar, a friendly demeanor, and an intelligence entirely too big to fit inside a doggy skull. I would say I blame Pop for that last, but I have a hard time blaming him for anything. Having a house across from the park meant Gus didn't have to stay at Pop's house, the one in 1950s Iowa, to play outside. It also meant Rusty had someplace convenient to go after the full moon went down. Originally, I had hoped to stealthily change from my Madison building residence to the new place. I wanted to keep the watchers from knowing where I lived, but I don't think I did it sneakily enough. There are now mind-controlled homeless people watching both places. Someone also parked a flying camera drone on a building across 80th. It's been there for at least a week. What bothers me about the drone is I don't know whose it is. Reverend Adam Alden is the psychic whoozy-whatsis controlling the mindless horde of homeless, but he doesn't have a lot of experience with technology beyond the 1950s. Why would he have an up-to-date 2060s version of a camera drone watching me? How would he even know to use one? And if he has a psychic connection to his mindless minions, why would he bother? It makes me think there's someone else watching my house, and I don't know who or why. I don't like it. I kind of understand some of Alden's motives. I know he wants power, which means he wants Pop, which means he wants to use me to get to Pop. Who else would want to watch me? A peeping Tom? None of the windows on that side of the house are bedrooms or bathrooms, and the drone's view is from much higher than the house. What does this leave? Someone interested in my rooftop? If I sunbathed up there, maybe. Or is there interest in my comings and goings because I'm a hobbyist superheroine? Maybe. The last thing I need is an unknown person sticking their nose into my personal business. I suppose I could shoot it, but then someone would be aware I'm aware of their surveillance and they'd try to be sneakier about it. Better to have one camera I know about than 6 I don't. Hang on, am I starting in the wrong place? I started to say how I came home and said goodbye to Pop. Should I start there and go on? It's so hard to tell with a journal. If this is to make sense, I have to pretend I'm telling someone who doesn't know how I got to this point. But there's one hell of a lot to go over before anything makes sense. Assuming it ever does. Life can be like that. All right, I'll assume. This isn't for you, it's for me. If you don't understand, I apologize. Sometimes I don't either, but that's why I'm writing a journal. You're not the only one who's going to have trouble keeping up. I'm trying to make sense of my life, and you're coming along for the ride. Okay, so where does this leave me? Let me think. Yesterday, I guess, or maybe all the way back to before I was born. I'm probably on the high side of 21 years old. My age is a little indefinite because we kept switching calendars when we switched timelines. Regardless of my chronological uncertainty, I'm a grown woman, on my own, living in New York with friends, allies, enemies, hobbies, and a project. Technically, I even have a job, if you count being a self-employed vigilante superhero witch. I'm still ironing out the wrinkles, but it's a cool job description. When I moved out of Pop's house and into this version of New York, Pop supported me. New York is a place for people with rich parents. He provided money, a car, my false identity, and my laptop. I didn't start out to be a vigilante superhero, but when it sort of just happened, Pop even went out and found me a sidekick. Pop was always supportive whenever I wanted to try things. How many other kids have a rock collection from every planet in the solar system? I even got to make faces at a Mars rover, a working one. Pop didn't scold me either. He helped me make signs. Go humans! We believe in you! Upward and outward! We love your TV shows! Looking back, I would pay good money to have been a fly on the wall in mission control. I was 6 at the time, so I didn't think of it. Now I'm on my own. I don't know exactly what Pop needs to do, but I know he's been, not exactly putting his life on hold for me, but close. I've been holding him back. He's been a responsible parent and, from my point of view, a fantastic one. Thing is, he has more important things to do than play papa to a grown daughter.